On November 27, 2022, Tony Knockwin and his girlfriend, Lauren Caldwell, were shopping at a Walmart in Spring Hill, Florida, a place they frequented. However, a misunderstanding unfolded when Walmart's asset protection specialist, David Pettigrew, mistook Tony for another individual, Cody Vondalindi, who had been banned from that Walmart since 2018. Despite not getting a clear look at the person he thought was Cody Vondalindi, Pettigrew dialed 911 to report his presence. Deputy Michael McNeely from the Hernando County Sheriff's Office arrived in response to the call and was guided by Pettigrew to Tony. Although McNeely called out Cody as he approached Tony, the real Cody Vondalindi's identity was not confirmed. Still, McNeely placed Tony in handcuffs. During the incident, Lauren began recording the encounter with her phone. This situation highlights a case of mistaken identity and subsequent actions based on incomplete information. During the interaction, Mr. Wynn explains to Deputy McNeely that he had received a trespass warning from the Walmart around a decade ago due to a shoplifting incident in 2013. He mentions that he was informed by the court that this warning was valid for only 1 year. Deputy McNeely acknowledges this claim and expresses his intention to investigate further. It appears that Mr. Wynn is referring to the legal concept that a trespass warning, which prohibits someone from entering a property, can indeed expire over time. According to Section 810.08 of the Florida statutes, entering or remaining in a structure without permission constitutes trespassing. But when properties like a Walmart are open to the public, there's an implied invitation for anyone to enter. Nonetheless, this implied invitation can be revoked by the property owner through a trespass warning, essentially removing an individual's authorization to enter the premises. Thus, returning after such a warning could result in a violation of trespassing laws. In this scenario, it's possible that Walmart issued a trespass warning to Mr. Wynn in 2013, which was meant to be valid for only a year. If this were the case, once that year had passed, Mr. Wynn's implied permission to shop at the store would be automatically restored, allowing him to enter without trespassing. Even if the trespass warning didn't come with an expiration date, Mr. Wynn could still argue that he didn't violate trespassing laws because he had been regularly shopping at that Walmart location without any issues. Based on his consistent presence there, Mr. Wynn might contend that the store's continuous acceptance of his visits had effectively reinstated his invitation to shop there. However, it's worth noting that there's limited legal precedent to firmly support this argument. Deputy McNeely informs Ms. Caldwell that the Walmart employee, likely Mr. Pettigrew, doesn't want her to record inside their office, leading her to decline entering. Several federal circuit courts, including the 11th Circuit that governs Florida, have recognized the First Amendment's protection of the right to film in public spaces. As clarified in the 2019 case Manhattan Community Access Corporation v. Halleck, the First Amendment's free speech clause governs governmental actors and shields private actors. To differentiate between government and private actions, the state action doctrine is employed. This doctrine establishes instances where a private entity could be treated as a government actor, such as when it carries out a public function or acts jointly with the government. Although Walmart is open to the public, it's unlikely that a court would consider the store's activities a traditionally exclusive public function. In situations like this, private entities are generally not treated as government actors unless they perform tasks that are typically reserved for the government. So, Walmart likely has the freedom to restrict filming on its premises. This is emphasized in the Halleck case, where it's clarified that just benefiting the public or serving public interests doesn't automatically make a private entity a government actor. Therefore, Walmart is within its rights to forbid unauthorized filming on its property, as stated in the company's policy available on its website. Ms. Caldwell's situation is more intricate than just Walmart's general filming restrictions. Deputy McNeely was the one who told her she couldn't record. While there might be an argument that this could be seen as government involvement, limiting her recording rights, Deputy McNeely seemed to convey the private party's desire to control filming in a non-public room on private property. Given this, a court would likely decide that Ms. Caldwell's right to record wasn't violated, as Deputy McNeely appeared to convey a private party's wish, rather than an infringement by the government. Deputy McNeely tells Ms. Caldwell that she's being banned from the Walmart location, emphasizing that the store isn't required to provide a specific reason for doing so. This is generally accurate, but there are legal boundaries regarding discrimination based on factors like race, religion, or nationality. An example from the Florida Supreme Court in the 1976 case of Korn v. State helps explain this. When a place, such as a shopping mall, is privately owned but open to the public for profit, it's seen as quasi-public due to its public nature. While reasonable and fair rules can be established, like requiring shoes, the invitation to the public can be restricted or revoked if abused. Simply put, shopping malls are open to the public, but their owners still retain some control over their private ownership rights, as stated by the 5th District Court of Appeal of Florida in the 1993 case of State v. Woods. Considering Walmart's resemblance to a shopping mall, it's probable that a court would acknowledge Walmart's authority to stop someone from shopping there if there are sensible and fair reasons. However, the court would probably also restrict Walmart's ability to ban shoppers without any valid reasons. Just like how shopping malls can establish reasonable rules and remove the invitation if rules are misused, Walmart would likely have the right to make decisions based on good reasons, while being limited in banning shoppers for no apparent cause. Once Deputy McNeely confirms that a trespass warning has been given to Mr. Vondalindi, he tells Ms. Caldwell that Mr. Wynn, whom he still mistakenly identifies as Mr. Vondalindi, is being arrested for trespassing and will be taken to jail. In the 1971 case of Hill v. California, the Supreme Court upheld the constitutionality of an arrest made by police officers who mistook a person for someone else. The court concluded that if the police have reasonable cause to arrest one person, and they mistakenly identify another person as the first, the arrest of the mistaken person is still considered valid. The court emphasized that this relies on the practical and factual considerations of real-life situations. Even though Deputy McNeely believed in good faith that Mr. Wynn was Mr. Vondalindi, whether this belief was reasonable is less certain. Deputy McNeely's conclusion was based on Mr. Pettigrew's identification and the fact that Mr. Wynn responded when the name Cody was called. Courts generally permit officers to rely on information from witnesses who personally know the situation when making an arrest. However, Deputy McNeely didn't take any additional steps to verify Mr. Wynn's identity. This could lead a court to potentially view his lack of reliable information about Mr. Wynn's identity as making the mistake unreasonable, which might render the arrest unconstitutional. Still, courts have understood that officers aren't obligated to exhaust all possible investigation avenues or sort through conflicting evidence prior to making an arrest. It's also possible that a court could find Deputy McNeely's mistake reasonable given the circumstances. Following the arrest, Deputy McNeely drove Mr. Wynn to the Hernando County Jail. There, he took Mr. Wynn's identification for processing and realized that he was not Mr. Vondalindi. Once he confirmed Mr. Wynn's true identity, Deputy McNeely apologized to him and began driving him back home. However, during the journey, Deputy McNeely got a call from his supervisor asking for a photo of Mr. Wynn and his ID. As a result, Deputy McNeely stopped on the side of the road and temporarily detained Mr. Wynn while his supervisor investigated. Upon discovering Mr. Wynn's past trespass warning, Deputy McNeely took him back to the jail to book him for trespassing. On November 29, 2022, Mr. Wynn was formally charged with trespassing. However, on January 25, 2023, the Assistant State Attorney declared a decision of no information, meaning they found the case not suitable for prosecution, leading to its dismissal on the same day. In January 2023, the Hernando County Sheriff's Office issued a statement defending their actions. They argued that the trespass warning given at Walmart still remained valid, since it was never officially revoked by Walmart officials. Thus, they claimed there was reasonable cause for arresting Mr. Wynn for the trespass, and he was processed and charged accordingly. As of March 2, 2023, Mr. Wynn has filed a $10 million federal lawsuit against Walmart, Mr. Pettigrew, and Deputy McNeely, citing claims like racial profiling, false imprisonment, and false arrest. This case is ongoing. Deputy McNeely's actions earned him a B- overall. Despite arresting the wrong person, it seemed like an honest mistake, and he promptly apologized. He maintained professionalism and a solid grasp of trespassing laws in Florida. However, his oversight in not confirming Mr. Wynn's identity before the arrest was significant. This situation illustrates how even well-intentioned officers can make errors that breach constitutional rights. Mr. Wynn and Ms. Caldwell deserve an A+ for remaining composed while expressing their confusion, following lawful orders, recording the incident, and pursuing appropriate legal steps to challenge the constitutionality of Mr. Wynn's arrest. The complex legal aspects aside, their actions highlight important issues and potentially influence community awareness. Regardless of the case's outcome, Their efforts may serve as a reminder to law enforcement about the significance of thorough investigations. Well, that's it for today. If you found this overview informative, please subscribe, like it, and stay tuned for more insightful content. Don't hesitate to share this video to spark discussions about legal matters. Thank you for watching.